Before we start off today's video, if you guys would like to join my Discord server, link will be in the description and will also be in a pinned comment. If you'd like to join, feel free to do so. We are slowly growing and you can also be one of those people who helps the server grow. But anyway, into the video. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Fiat 124 Spider and it's basically a fun 2-door, 2-seater convertible. Really cool, I really like it. But this is not fully fit and I'll get onto that in just 1 second. But this is obviously the modern 124 Spider because obviously there was an old one as well that came before it. And this frankly does look a bit like a Ferrari if I'm honest. And that is obviously kind of a cool feature. But anyway, we're here to talk about the modern one, aren't we? So this modern one, it basically has the underpinnings of a Mazda MX-5. Now the Mazda MX-5 has already been proven as being such a cool fun car, so frankly the Fiat has nothing to lose, but let's just see how it goes. Let's get into the review. So when it comes to the exterior, the front, well, it just looks so happy. It's like a happy dog who's happy to see me. The grille and the lights, they definitely make it look like eyes and nose and mouth. Just so happy to see me, like I've been out for hours and I've just come back home. I think the indicator being separated from the bottom lights at the bottom adds a cool touch to it. Also the designs in the bonnet add a little bit of flair to it, so that is obviously a good point to mention. The side profile, I see a bit of MX-5 in it, but that might just be me. I'm seeing it roughly between the A pillar and the non-existent B pillar that's not there. I don't know, I just see it there, I just see a little bit. But anyway, the design overall is not too bad. It's a bit plain, but you know, it's not the worst thing known to man. One thing I will mention is that the aerial does look a bit tad old-fashioned. Now, I know that the aerial is placed there for a reason. I'm pretty sure Fiat have their reasoning for it. But I'm just saying that despite it having a reason, it still looks a bit old-fashioned. I'm not saying they haven't done it without a purpose. Like I said, there's a reason for it, I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying it does look a bit old-fashioned to me. Kind of like the old Mustangs that had it up there. And all the old 90s cars that had it up there as well. When it comes to the rear, I think this is the best angle of the car. It looks quite angry. I just see it, the lights look like squinting eyes, look like they're I'm angry at you. And then you obviously got 2 exhaust pipes, which is obviously better than 1. Those 2 lights at the bottom, as you know, I'm not really a fan of those anyway. But the overall shape, it just works, so well, there you go. And unfortunately you got that aerial there as well. When it comes to the interior, here's a big old surprise for you. Does this interior look familiar to you? It does to me, I'll tell you why. It's an MX-5 interior. That's one place they cheaped out on. The interior. Obviously they've added the Fiat badge onto it, but let's review it with this Mazda interior instead. So you obviously got your sat-nav which comes out the screen, which is in your eye line, so that is good. You have got your transmission tunnel, which means you are separated from the passenger, which obviously does make it a lot sporty. And that also means that the gear selector is not so long and that is right at a good level, so you don't have to go all the way down with your hand. One thing that does bug me is the fact that you got 3 circle air vents, and yet one of them is an odd rectangle shape thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's like that. And because everything is raised up because of the transmission tunnel, the controls to adjust the climate control aren't too low down, so that's obviously a good thing. So when it comes to the performance, unfortunately there is only one engine to go for. The Mazda did have 2 engine choices, but it did have multiple power outputs. So I feel like they've done this just to keep the costs down a little bit, just like the interior as well. And this engine right here is not from an MX-5. This is Fiat's own engine. It is a 1.4 litre inline 4-cylinder with a turbo, 138 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. It is of course rear wheel drive, what did you expect? It does weigh 1050 kilograms, which is really light, so that's obviously a good thing. Gearbox is either 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic, but really you want to go for a manual in this thing, don't you? But if you only have an automatic license, then well, there's an automatic version for you. 0 to 60 is 7.3 seconds and the top speed is 134 miles an hour. So I have to say performance is not too bad at all, especially considering it only weighs a bit more than a ton. When it comes to the practicality, well, the rear seats don't exist because this is a 2-door convertible, so let's get that out of here. But anyway, the boot is 140 litres big. Now I know generally that it's not a big boot, but compared to the Mazda MX-5 on which it's based on, it has 10 more litres. And with boots this small, any litre is a huge improvement, especially considering how small they are from the very beginning. Now apparently this car has a bigger overhang than the Mazda MX-5, so that is where you get your 10 litres from. So frankly this is better for carrying stuff, you can get an extra bag in there or two. When it comes to the handling, I have a few things written down. So the layout is exactly the same as the MX-5, rear wheel drive, and you get double wishbone suspension at the front, and you get a multi-link suspension setup at the rear as well. Fiat have stiffened the springs and dampers, plus they have changed the anti-roll bars and they have adjusted the steering, which is electronically assisted. So as a result, this car is going to be fun. Why? Well, because it's based on an MX-5, and the MX-5 is, well, it's known for being such a good handling car. It's been proven, it's been around for ages. So this car to handle terribly will be a big shock to everyone, but frankly it's not, it handles well because it's an MX-5. Now Fiat have obviously changed some stuff like the suspension and all that and the steering, so it does have what I would like to think of is what they think a bit more of an Italian flair, trying to make it more Fiat than Mazda, trying to make it more their own, but either way it's still fun. MX-5 handles well, this is also going to do the same. You can also drift in this car, you can turn off the traction control and then do the stuff you need to do to drift, and well, it will drift and you will have an amazing amount of fun in it. This car is also quite good when it comes to rough roads compared to the Mazda, so that is obviously a good point to mention, and this car is kind of a softer version of the MX-5, especially when it comes to the rougher roads. But I'm not saying it's some wuss, it's not a wuss. It's still a great fun car that can handle really well, so don't get me wrong on that. Is there anything else worth noting? Well, because the underpinnings are basically an MX-5, majority of reliability has improved quite a bit. You know, Mazda are reliable. The engine, however, well, depending on how reliable the engine is, which I doubt, you know, that engine might not be so reliable. But either way, the rest of it, it should last you. It should not go wrong. And it is built in the same factory as the MX-5, so the build quality is going to be, well, top notch, because Japanese build quality is top notch, so nothing will fall apart like any other Italian car will. But anyway, what is the verdict? So, it has cute exterior looks, the reliability and build quality have been improved because of Mazda, the underpinnings are proven because it's an MX-5, which we all know, etc, etc. It has decent performance, a decent looking interior because of the Mazda, and the boot is quite good for what it is, especially compared to the Mazda. The only cons really are, it has one engine choice, which I feel like is just for cheapness, and the aerial does look old fashioned. Now remember, I did say that it does have its purpose, but I'm just saying it does look a bit old fashioned. I feel like it could be a lot smaller and placed in a more convenient place, but you know, not my thing to say. But either way, that concludes the review of the Fiat 124 Spider. If you guys would like to check out my main reaction channel... Oh, bye bye! Or not.
Darren, you're stupid.
Yeah, we can see.
Oh. No, Darren!
No, he's not okay. He's a bloody idiot. Then I will leave a link to that in the description below. If you could subscribe to that, that would be absolutely great. Really appreciated. But anyway, this is next week's car. What is it? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of the comments, if you have a car you want me to review, then you can also leave that in the comments below. and if there is enough information online to do it, I will happily oblige to do it within a week or a couple of weeks. And you can even say it within my Discord server, so that's 2 places. But anyway, I will see you guys in next week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.